Hello, G babies, and welcome to Glimpse of G. My name is Quan Pierre. Nice to meet you. How y'all doing? I hope you're enjoying the show so far. I was given I say honor, the honor of interviewing your amazing host, Geester Lebron. That I was just he we came up with this idea. And I'm like, I'm super excited to do this. I am very, very excited to do this. I just came up with a couple questions to help us all just learn more about G, to like give you all a deeper understanding of who he is, what he has to bring. Trust me, it's good. Like, trust me. You're gonna want to stay for this one. So, G, if you're ready, we can go ahead and get this started.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Let's go. Hello, G babies. We're gonna get into it. Let's
All
just
right, let's
get
start.
into it. Let's do
Started.
this.
All right, first, can the people get a full introduction of you, your name, age, where it is that you reside currently?
Well, I reside in the state of Massachusetts, and we'll keep it at that point right here. We'll do Western. We'll let y'all know we're Western Massachusetts. I am currently 32, but look 23. Um, I am a Gemini, everybody, as well. Gster, I'm the Prince of Pop Culture. I talk about everything that's pop culture runs the world, and I feel like I want a piece of that pie and want to give it out to the world. So that's definitely a little bit about me.
All right. Well, you originally resided in New York. What was the driving force that made Massachusetts your place of residence, like your home?
Yeah, that's very true. Originally from the Bronx, shout out to the Bronx, Uh, but my family ended up moving out here for a better life. Uh, to be honest with you, love the Bronx and everything, but the Bronx is not where you raise kids. It's not the best place. We do get a lot of character and strong and strength, but as a kid, you don't need to have to go through those things. You know what I mean? You shouldn't have to. So Massachusetts was a move that we made as a family, and the reason I decided to stay is because it costs too much to go live in New York now as an adult. So let's just be honest with that.
All right. Well, I feel the best way to get the full story of someone's life is to start at the beginning. If we were to meet a younger Gster, maybe like around the teens, teenage, what would he be like?
Uh, he was battling two lives. He was battling having to keep one private and having to portray one that fit whatever society and my parents wanted. So it seemed a little Dr. Jekyll Hyde in life. It was a tough time as a teenager, but what people saw on the outside was someone like similar to like Robin Williams, someone who was just like entertaining people, making them laugh, even if I wasn't laughing inside. If I was more crying inside, I came off as a very happy stud always. I'm outstanding. I'm always standing differently from everyone else. I stand out in a way that no one else did. And I didn't understand that then, but now I understand it now. But that teenage boy was full of light and a lot of dark, and it made him the superstar, that he was already at such a young age.
As far as your home life growing up, how did that affect the way you view things today?
Yeah, that's always a tricky situation to talk about because, we in our cultures, we're taught not to like, talk bad about certain things or what stays in the house stays in the house. And I've tried to find the middle ground in that, especially getting on a platform and me spilling everyone else's business. So to honestly get into mine, I would say that I lived watching Disney Channel, watching different things on TV. It's like I lived through that TV because I wasn't happy in my home life because they were very religious at the end of the day. And I had to portray something for them to make sure I didn't feel treated, abused, or anything. I wasn't like physically abused or anything, but mentally, they fucked me up mentally because at the end of the day, like a man is not supposed to have their hand like this, or you know what I mean? Like just a lot of picking and bullying that they don't realize that that's what they're doing. It's kind of a lot of a bullying that I went through as a kid, but now that we're older, it's a work in progress.
So, what events in your childhood had the biggest impact on who you are today?
What event? Hmm, that's a good question because like that impacted like exactly like who am I like now?
Would you say help build Geester? Like help build who you are? Which was the biggest event that possibly did that for you? It could be multiple events,
Um,
whatever.
yeah, it could be probably multiple events. I would probably say multiple events started creating who it was, but I think it was more or less like when I hit the stage for the first time in fifth grade is when I realized I found what I enjoy, what I'm about, what like where my happiest place was. You know what I mean? And I was Peter Pan, by the way. Okay, lead part. You know, so that was a really big thing. But the people who helped shape mold me into what's going on has been women. The women in my life, the single mama friends that I have, their mothers, some of their mothers have taken me in when I needed a maternal advice because if I was fighting with my mother, those were these people. It was been women and women artists like Whitney Houston, Beyonce. Beyonce taught me how to have so much confidence at such a young age on how to differ. But Whitney Houston taught me what I should feel when love is present as well. So at the end of the day, like women in general molded this fabulous queen it is now.
So, people who meet you in person, or if they scroll through your social media, they see this. They can see a super confident person. Obviously, someone who knows who they are. Was that always the case for you?
Majority of the time, yes. I think we all go through though, like ups and downs where we feel less of anything. I think the trick was for me of life was I lived in the what people are doing now, where they're putting the post-its on the mirrors and all that stuff now. What they're doing to themselves now is what I was already doing at such a young age, where I didn't put post-its, but I was always talking to myself in the mirror. Me in the mirror had conversations where real shit happens where someone tells you you look fat or something or you don't they don't like how you smell or look or so now you go home and you look at it and you think about it and you analyze it and you break it down. So the one thing I always had to tell myself was, did I feel this way yesterday before someone said that today? And at the end of the day, that's what would remind me to be always confident. I don't play off. I think there's a lot of people in the world who play off their confidence as a defense mechanism. My confidence is not my defense mechanism because there's other things that make me vulnerable and insecure. But I think the basic, and when I mean basic, the natural insecurities in life, which is usually physical, sometimes the way we think or talk, those things are not what makes me insecure. If we're going to be really honest and raw, what makes me more insecure is me just being me sometimes and showing it to the world. I get to the part of showing it to the world, even though the world always responds with they love it,
Mm.
I am always insecure in that part, So that confidence is the only thing that I love to share through my videos and all that stuff because when you watch my videos, I want you to say, damn, you know what? He don't got a six pack, but I don't either. And I should love what is going on. You know why? Because at the end of the day, like, honey, if I want a six pack, then I obviously can go get a six pack. And that's your choice too out there to go get your own six pack. So that's just how I look at it in life, that I'm sharing confidence through everything.
Earlier, you mentioned that you do have a love for Disney. You definitely do have a love for Disney.
I
Very
do. I
true.
did.
Yeah.
I did. I love Disney, especially Mickey,
So that a love that started. I'm guessing it started early on.
Oh yeah, I started early on because as a kid, I was wanting to live a life that was shown on Disney Channel. At the end of the day, culturally speaking, all we got a whole bunch of white kids on Disney Channel who are living a life where parents talk to them instead of scold them. Parents like break down certain situations or they make a super fun day just at home. Like just it was a different life. And then the magic of Disney believes in magic. You get what I'm saying? So it was the one place. Other people get their magics from so many different outlets as a kid. But I would have to say the magic that I felt was from Disney and everything they created. There was always a backstory of letting me know that you're different and you're welcomed here. So that is something I embodied as a kid and I took as an adult into probably an extreme level to certain people.
Real quick, favorite Disney character.
Princess Ariel.
Good choice. Good choice. In what ways would you say Geester from before differs from the Geester we have now?
The Gster from before is was living dysfunctionally. I was functioning dysfunctional. That is what was going on. The old Gster, a lot of us have the brightness, the diamond, we got it. We got the works to do what we have to do, right? But we are so wired in thinking of I am who I am, take me as who I am, and I don't give a fuck what nobody gotta say, right? And that was the biggest mistake that old Gster had. The old Gster didn't realize you gotta rewire and move on because we all got traumas. All of us got traumas. But if we don't move on from them, those traumas are going to be making decisions for us. So now Jesus ready to show the world who he is because he finally got to a place where if I'm going to tell you to love yourself before you love someone else, I have to live by that. So that's where I'm at.
Funny you chose a RuPaul quote because you're on Drag Race right now. Final runway. End of the stage, you see a picture of a young G. What advice would you give young G knowing the stuff that you know now?
Oh, well, you know what, Young G, you know, he was a cute little poppy too, okay? You know what I mean? I had that like pure, like toxic masculinity look. You know what I mean? That oh yeah, like fools be like it now, but you know, now I be making y'all mad with my glitz and glam. But Lil G, I would have to say is the only reason someone has something mean to say to you had nothing to do that you wasn't worth it or that you wasn't good enough. The fact is that you stood out. The fact is that you made someone else not feel tall enough. And that was their own perspective at that time. So at the end of the day, this time, me telling you now, future you is telling you now that you need to let it go because you could be way farther than you are right now. Like 100%. And like Miley Cyrus says, honey, the haters are always going to be there, right? But you got to pay attention to the people who love you. And that is what I've learned, you know what I mean, in life now. So I would just tell little Gita, just continue to do what you're doing, though. When the world feels like no one's loving you, you keep going into that mirror and saying, ha, I love Gito. You know, and that's something that we all kept together to this day.
You ate that. You ate that.
You know?
Perfect answer. Love that answer. So you are a member of the LGBTQ plus community. Where would you say you fall on the spectrum?
On the Gster spectrum. Um, like I fall on the Gster spectrum. I think that the community who hated labels need to stop creating so many because it's getting a little too hard for me to figure out who the fuck I am sometimes. Because tomorrow, just because I like a certain thing, I fit that definition. Just because I have a hairy chest, I'm an otter, not a bear, though. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's just too many things going on. So I would have to say, majority of the time I'm pretty gay. You know what I mean? Majority of the time. But at the end of the day, if I meet Princess Jasmine out there, you know what I mean? And who says I would not? If I met Kelly Rowland, you know, who says I would not? Chloe, you know, you probably the new generation, so you might be cool with the whole, you know, what's popping, you know?
I wouldn't
It
blame you.
depends on there are people that I find really attractive that I would give the same loyalty and love to.
Hmm.
So I don't want to just strictly say, well, bisexual, because at the end of the day, I'm not going to say it's an equal spectrum either. At the end of the day, that's not what's going on. I'm like, there's certain more attributes that I like on this side and that side. But yeah, I'm pretty gay most of the time. We'll do like 87% gay.
87%.
There we go. Yeah.
So when did you discover this about yourself?
Um, Shout out to everyone who has this moment back in the day at this certain time in life. Okay. If I could, I can't remember the year. So y'all look it up on Google. But at the end of the day, when Britney Spears dropped "Baby One More Time's" album, like it was like the gay juices, just the spirits just jumped into my body. Okay, I think Britney Spears made a lot of us gay. Maybe that was happening. Maybe this music thing is a thing. You know, like because Britney Spears just woke up something in me. Woke up the fact that I think we kept looking at it back then at that time. I think people looked at it like we looked at her as the American dream, and it wasn't like that. That's what they still say, right? But it wasn't like that. We wanted to embody that. That's what happened when we got Britney. Like, she made us feel like she's not a normal girl. At the end of the day, it's very drag queenish if you think about it. She just didn't wear the makeup. It's very like Beyonce's like that, you know. Beyonce walks in a little bit after my life, and then I knew I was super gay. But Britney Spears woke up something in me that I realized that, oh, I'm into the whole glam situation. I'm into the sexy boy that was in that video. Like, I'm into both of them. That's going on. So at that time, I definitely liked girls and boys pretty equally. But I didn't go after the whole boy situation until I was probably like 12, 13 years old.
What was the reaction to the people around you when you made this discovery? Like friends, family, community?
Ah, she's gonna hate that I bring this up. But one of my best friends was very upset. Like, she was very, very upset, but she wasn't upset because she hated the fact that I was gay or anything. She hated the fact that when it was brought up and I said no, or when it was brought up or anything, that just because I never told her the truth, she felt slighted. And what I've noticed in this community, though, we go into this like ignorant thought process of, well, that was my business, is my business, right? But at the end of the day, now try to put themselves in that shoe, right? Where at the end of the day, it's like, why wouldn't you trust me? Out of everything that we do, trust each other with and call each other best friends. So I could understand why she was mad. So she didn't take it so well, but then she got over it and she lived for it to the day. Well, now she be eating pussy too, though. But but you know what I mean. I mean, technically she's straight again. But you know how girls are. I don't know what the hell.
Yeah.
But my immediate family, no. My brother was more like he didn't care either way. Like, I'm not an advocate, but I don't think you're that special either. Like, what, you think you're more special because you're gay? That's kind of his like hetero caveman ass thinking. So he has no like hate. He didn't have no hate. Um, my little sister, who is my little brother now, who's my trans brother now, at the time when she was just my little sister, she didn't understand the concept. So she looked at it like abandonment. She didn't even care about what was going on with my sexuality. She just thought I got kicked out and left, for no reason. Like, and it was a fight for no reason. But my parents did not take it well. So no, like, it was tough at first. I think I got the classic story that people don't like to talk too much about, which is like we don't get the cheerleading at all when we came out. We see all the people who claimed I love you and bought you Christmas presents and birthday presents for so many years, and bought you ice cream, to sit here on one conversation and change up that whole feeling against you. It's the toughest situation I probably went through still.
Are your parents more accepting today?
No, they're not. My dad, and he's gonna hate that I say this. My mom's gonna hate that I say this. But at the end of the day, I'm sure they're not watching it. But if there's someone else in the family, obviously is gonna be watching because they knows he like that. So at the end of the day, my father is the raw. He cheerleads on the low.
Hmm.
Like, that man, like, loves the fact that he got an Elton John type of son. Okay, like, he just like lives for he comes from that era, Burning Man era. So at the end of the day, like, he lives for it behind the scenes, but respects obviously my mom and his wife, and stands by her through it. My mom doesn't spew hate, but her religious background makes her think that if God doesn't accept it, then she shouldn't either. So it's kind of that ignorant situation. But other than that, though, do we got better relationship wise? Yeah, because we created boundaries where it's like, keep your opinion to yourself, and I'll keep my opinion to myself. And we should focus on just being son and mother.
Uh, Judgments and like different types of hardships are constant within and out of the community. What do you hope to bring into the discussion of these sort of topics?
I feel like the new generation is bringing it to a light that we needed to bring up, which is, let's stop the hate toward difference, or putting people in categories like, oh, I got a type, or I got this, or I got that situation. I hope with you meeting someone like me, you realize that some people are very meshed well, where at the end of the day, um, you don't have to feel confused because you wanted to wear a purse tomorrow. It doesn't mean that anything but the fact that you wanted to wear a purse tomorrow. Um, Also, the fact that a man tells you that you're not man enough because you wear nails or you do anything like that. At the end of the day, check my record. Like that doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? So I just hope that I'm also bringing a new light. We need a new gay icon, honey. At the end of the day, that's always going to advocate for bipartisan situations. At the end of the day, I am not okay with femboys being attacked for being femboys, right? But I'm also that same guy that don't like the femboys that attack the other femboys. So you know
Mm.
what I mean? So at the end of the day, Jesus World is going to bring up the nitty-gritty of it because our yes, the hetero world, we could fight them all we want. But the minute we got the whole gay marriage and equalized all that, what we needed to worry about is cleaning up this community. And that's the part of the fight that I'm jumping into.
So, what topic about the community are you looking forward to mentioning or like discussing the most?
Uh, Definitely the femininity and masculinity situation, the stereotypes when it comes to sexual roles, the fact that sexuality is being a tool of validation in this community, the fact that some people enjoy being a hoe. And at the end of the day, we respect those hoes that enjoy being a hoe. You get what I'm saying? We respect those. So I can't respect the hoe that's sitting here doing it for validation. You know, we're not gonna teach the world that it's kind of like Little Nas. At the end of the day, I love his music and the influence and everything, but at the end of the day, he felt like the only way I cause the controversy is playing along to the hate that they bring to us anyways. So that's the thing is like it's when people try to say nigga is a word that you shouldn't make normal, right? And they have a good argument on why we shouldn't normalize it. Do we like ignorantly use it as an endearment word, even though we're looking, our ancestors look at us like, how the hell is that an endearment word? You know, but it's the same kind of situation where I think, you know, we don't have a gay icon that's like fighting that anymore. So I want to get into those issues definitely. Sexuality is a is a big deal in our community. We have a lot of porn controlling what we think sex should be like.
Well, we're about to get a little bit more personal. About to get real personal right here. Okay, you've gone through a divorce before. It's something you're not really like.
Well,
You don't hold back from sharing, like the details about that. Why is it that you're so open about discussing it when some people tend to be like more like closed off? Why are you so? What makes you so open to the discussion?
um, in real life, you should tell you know, we would tell our friends at the end of the day, keeping things bottled up is not a healthy situation, right? So that's the first foundation of it. You know, at the end of the day, let's not keep it bottled up. But at the end of the day, I also feel like taking the stride to tell my story, but also let other people find a space where they just sit there and feel like I'm not alone in this, especially the gay community. We have a lot of our comparisons to hetero situations and not enough gay people actually speaking about the hurt we've gone through in our relationships, the fact that the things we stick through just because we're in a gay relationship, the things that actually might happen that might be different from a hetero situation. So at the end of the day, excuse me, um, my divorce was painful, but it was a learning curve. So if there's a learning curve, why am I? I'm gonna do what I keep doing with the gossip. I'm sharing it, honey. I'm gonna share my learning, my wisdom, my blessings, all that situation. And at the end of the day, we also need to realize in the world that it's not always just one person's fault.
Hmm. That actually leads into my next question. People who like tend to discuss these topics, there's sometimes a sense of one-sided blame or lacking of accountability. When um when you discuss these topics, do you do you intend to keep it like completely like real, like even expressing faults of your own if that is the case in situations?
I think we're always trying to keep it as real as possible. You get what I'm saying? But when we use the term keep it real, I have to just separate the fact of facts are facts. So at the end of the day, if someone keyed your car when you got in an argument with him, right? Then at the end of the day, the fact is the car got keyed. So when I'm talking about it, the fault of what went on and who took it farther, that's what we're talking about. So I think that it's fair for people to understand that they should have a space where when we're talking about the hurt we're going through is to stay on topic with the facts. Now, if you sit there being like, well, he did that, there's no way he loved me. Like, those are still, that's perception now, because we don't know why someone did a fucked up thing to you. And that's something that we accountability for both parts comes in. At the end of the day, my responsibility in my divorce wasn't me to find out why he did me the way he did me. My learning curve is, why did I allow him to do me the way he did me? And that's something we all needed to learn in relationships, period. You know what I mean? So I think accountability should be on the facts. And if the fact is you did some shit, if you cheated on your man, then just say, yeah, well, I did cheat on him, and then still continue. But at the end of the day, if you cheated on him and he still was eating that pussy a week later, then that doesn't bring up the fact of why I broke up, because it had nothing to do with the breakup. So this is why I say, like, certain information don't matter in the actual moment of the breakup.
Gotcha. More about how about your personal life a little bit. We're gonna
Yes, all
personal
right, cool. Because I'm like,
business.
Lord Jesus, but we do.
Someday
We
we
got to
might
keep
go
it real.
deeper. Go deeper into this
Yeah.
discussion today. So we'll hop back into that another time. But my question to you: what is it about pop culture that intrigued you? Like, what is it that your series is basically pop culture? Like, why is
Yes,
that? Like, what made that the way
pop
it is?
culture. Pop culture is the reason why you're wearing the hoodie you wearing. Pop culture is the reason why certain things look a certain way, why our hairstyles look a certain way, why we change up the way we talk and do and say and listen and dress and eat even. So at the end of the day, like, the world, especially the intellectual so-called world, right, would like to say that pop culture is basically trash. You know what I mean? This ruins the world and all this stuff. But the real situation is it has to do with everything. Pop culture has the way of how we break down someone's thought process. Instead of us saying, like, let's just be more conscious, but no, because she's Britney Spears, let's laugh at the fact that she shaved her head. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, pop culture to me, I noticed, like, just ran so many things in my life. So I embraced it from day one. And I just want everybody to not find a safe space now to not feel like it's a guilty bad thing. That's why I call my hot topics guilty pleasure. Because at the end of the day, like, they try to make you feel like it's a bad thing to like the Real Housewives. That means you must be a dumb person or don't have enough substance. You get what I'm saying? Where
Yeah.
it's like, in real life, it's not that. In real life, we accept everyone's walk in life. And that's what a real human being should be like. And that's what we're going to be teaching on Jesus' World, is how to be a real good human being.
So, what are some shows or maybe like personalities you've seen on TV that inspired your show, you as a person, your business?
I was inspired by talk shows. Like, that was definitely something I've been inspired for. The number one, our homegirl Wendy Williams. You know what I mean? I hope nothing but the best for her in life. The way they did her at BET was fucked up. But back to me.
Mm-hmm.
Wendy Williams, icon, my first icon, and I said, wow. And that was the radio. And at the end of the day, like, when she was on the radio, it was like, wow, somebody who we're the thing is, when you hear Michael Jackson, that, I love Michael, didn't believe anything that went down the way it went. But at the end of the day, like, when you would hear Michael's going to trial, right? At the end
Mm-hmm.
of the day, we didn't have social media at the time. So for somebody to sit there, get the nitty-gritty information, you know what I mean, and tell us, like, people don't want to act like we didn't all want to know what was going on behind closed doors, like how everything was going, transpiring. So for her to bring that into the light and monetize and make it an iconic job and respectable for a certain time, then she was one of my big main situations. But the person I probably been watching for the last 20 years would be people would be The View. Like, at the end of the day, The View had to be the people that I embody most of my blueprint of. But what I'm trying to manifest is late night talk show hosts, because at the end of the day, there's no gay one or colored one having a slot on that night. And I think it's just time for us to have that, because Jimmy Fallon and all them love their shows. That's who I now, in my current adulthood, am looking at now.
With the production of a series like this, a huge team is expected, but most of it is like your own work. You doing like the editing and everything like that. Setup is mostly you, right?
Yeah, it's about I would have to say it's about 80% me when it comes to like the most of like the what goes on, editing, a lot of the creating the video, putting the video together, putting it to record, putting it to all that. Like it's definitely me. Most of the creative process, the foundation is from me. But luckily, the only way that this becomes the production it became because it was easy to hold all that down on a podcast. But now that we're on a YouTube series, honey, I didn't want to give y'all a mic and a table. Shade. You know what I mean? I wanted to make sure you guys are on when I called it Geester as well, because at the end of the day, I wanted to first do the mic and table thing.
Mm-hmm.
No Tino Shade, because this is like reality TV. Y'all can take that little clip and now y'all about to sit here and start shit with the team. Like, hold on. But what happened, what I mean by that at
No
the end of the day
shade.
is that because it was a radio, and I'll get into that in my actual show as a radio app, the network I work with. So at the end of the day, I just decided to go to YouTube series way. And the YouTube series way, thank God, I needed to add someone really special, which was Juan Pierre, to my situation because I needed a production. You know what I mean? And he is production. He is also a writer. He is also the million things that y'all see sometimes, you know what I mean? I'll sit here and I say, I like blue turtles that smoke out of bongs. And he'll come up and say, all right, well, this is how we're going to present the turtles smoking with a bong. So at the end of the day, everyone meet my co-executive producer, Quan Pierre. Okay? So.
And he's right. It is mostly him. I just write stuff. Like editing.
Yeah.
And you're great at it. Editing, the setup, everything. So he's definitely
You
right
got to
about.
learn everything. You got to learn everything.
So, what in Geester's world do you look forward to sharing with the G babies?
My G babies get to see everything a little normalized. At the end of the day, sometimes, I love my reality TV, right? But I gotta realize there's too many lives that none of us can actually live. So at the end of the day, to actually show people that our lives are still interesting, we still talk about the same thing. Just because I'm not on the view doesn't mean that my view don't matter. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I just feel like
Oh,
showing
put on a
people,
T-shirt. I like that. Put on a T-shirt.
yeah, like
Doesn't mean my
that,
view.
you
I like
know,
that. Oh,
seriously. Honestly, I look at it like this is my moment, and I hope that it shows other people that hey, I got an opinion too. I got to do that too because at the end of the day, I look at it like let's everyone should get into this situation. The demographic is very short when it comes to what I'm doing. You get what I'm saying? Like there's only like it's kind of like unfortunately like female rap. At the end of the day, they have like the people who are taking the slots, and everyone else stays like in the mid air, right? Demographically speaking, when it comes to talk shows and all that stuff, we have the people who have been controlling it for years. Now, I feel like the door should be opening now that so many people have been retiring and switching up the lineups. So I think this is the moment I feel like I'm going to inspire me and the world to go after what they wanted to do. But bitch, I'm the prince of pop culture. So I'm not really, when I sit at anyone's table, I promise you, you could be doing the same thing, but I don't look at competition because I am me and I'm gonna be whatever God wants it to be. So it is what it is.
all right. So we're on the final question. This is the last one. This is the big one. Okay. So, G, what is the future for Geester's world? Where do you hope this goes in the future?
Listen,
Let's
I
say,
hope,
where do you want to see
like,
Geester's world at?
well, hopefully in 2 years, a network has been calling us to get on a bigger network. You get what I'm saying? But no, shout out to DBN Network. I love the network we're on, but them themselves too. I would love for us to be seen by a humongous network. You get what I'm saying? Bring on that team, bring on that situation. So hopefully get on that network TV where my show's on either a paid super YouTube or Facebook Watch. Like like the red table talk. Maybe mine will be a green table talk. It just seems like all we got to do is change the color. So at the end of the day, like, I hope we get that in about 2 years. Future wise, reality TV show. I think all my friends are really interesting. I think I have, with the makeup y'all see is my best friend Sasha. The true support entourage. Uh, yeah, I got Young Miami and Saucy. That's like me and Allison. You know what I mean? Like that's what goes on. So I think that's very interesting though, because them bitches have their stories. So at the end of the day, I want a camera to follow us eventually. Geester's World be an actual show. I will be winning Tonys, Oscars, Grammys, and Emmys, honey, because at the end of the day, I'm not saying that I'm like the illest at everything, but what I am ill at is picking up everything and being good at it. So at the end of the day, like, I'm one of those people. So Jesus World is gonna be a brand, honey, a mogul, and we about to create an empire, darling. Okay.
Well, G, that's the interview. That was our last question. I do want to say real quick though. I already told you many times that I'm grateful for this opportunity that you have given me. But I also want to say though, to tell the G babies, y'all are definitely gonna want to stick around. This is one hardworking, creative person who has many great things planned out. So I'm just excited to one be a part of it and one to show it to y'all because it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna, like you said, an empire. It's gonna be amazing. And again,
Well, listen,
thank you for letting me interview you. It's been amazing.
listen. That is the exclusive interview on Glimpse of G. You know what I mean? Like, this is what we're gonna be doing on this segment every week with somebody. So first of all, thank you for just being you. Thank you for also allowing me into your generation of thought process and helping me make sure that the audience that we bring out to is for everybody to come together. Like, it's not, my demographic don't just stick to my age group. We talk about, yeah, I want to talk about Krishan on my show. We talk about Krishan. I know who that bitch is. I like her. Okay. I need a lover like that. Okay. Like, okay, that's like, but at the end of the day, thank you though for your creativity and believing in me, because at the end of the day, you don't sit here working with just anybody. A lot of people will sit here like, I love what you do, but at the end of the day, he showed me without ever being on the actual team yet, like, this is what you can do. Mind you, he has his own setup on everything he's doing. He's a writer. He's released articles. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, like, it's an honor too on both sides, darling. You know what I mean? It's an honor though to be on the team together. But G babies, this was the exclusive interview because I feel like if before I spill anyone's tea on my show on the coming weeks, because we ain't gonna be interviewing me no more for a while, okay? Until I'm big enough and y'all had some shit and some drama, and then I gotta sit here and talk about it. We don't need the interview because I'm gonna talk about it. So this is what y'all gonna get. Before I spill everybody's tea, I spilled mine. Now it's y'all turn, and I cannot wait till you guys see the creative interviews that we have coming up. You know what I mean? I'm going to do an interview with Blue Ace, at the end of the day. And we're not just gonna sit here and have a conversation. Let's see who's out smoking who that day. You know what I mean? She's the queen of cannabis over there, right? So y'all just gotta have to stay tuned. I'm looking forward to it, G babies. Follow, like, subscribe to both of our pages because his YouTube is on here as well in the description below. So at the end of the day, thank you, Quan Pierre. I have to say it with the accent.
Thank you so
I
much. This was
thank
amazing.
you. Thank you. Let's go. That was good. That was good. That was good.
That was amazing.